Welcome back, everybody. Let's talk about depression today. It may be sitting in the room with you right now. It might be in your chest as you're listening to this podcast. It might be the reason that you picked up your phone and hit play on this episode today. It's heavy, it's quiet, and it lies to you. It tells you that nobody understands and that it's always going to feel this way, and that you're the only one that ever felt it. We're going to talk about depression today, not with a psychology lecture, not with a list of coping mechanisms, and not with a hotline or a quick prayer. I want to talk about what it actually is, why it's exploding right now, and where the real answer comes from. So stay with me. I want to give you a few numbers to begin with, just to drive home the point yet again that you're not alone. As of early 2026, 19.1% of U.S. adults say they are depressed or receiving treatment for depression. That is approximately 51 million Americans. In 2015, that number was 10.5. So in 11 years, it's nearly doubled. Think about what's gone on the last 11 years. Depression rates in adults under 30 have more than doubled since 2017, from 13% to 28%. More than 1 in 4 young adults is currently depressed, and more than 1 in 8 Americans aged 12 and older have experienced symptoms of depression, nearly double the rate from just a decade ago. 51 million people. Say it with me. 51 million people. That's not a mental health statistic. That's a civilization telling you something is deeply and profoundly wrong. Now, the world has its answers. And I want to be fair. Some of them help, of course. Some medications work. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Therapy helps, I'm sure. Exercise, sleep, community routines, all these things matter, and I'm not dismissing them out of hand. But I'm here to tell you what keeps coming back, no matter what people do. If therapy and medication and wellness culture were the answer, then why are the numbers going up? We have more therapists now than ever, more antidepressants prescribed than ever, more mental health awareness campaigns than ever, more apps, more podcasts, more self-care content than at any point in human history, and yet 51 million are depressed in this country. 12. Do you hear me? 12-year-olds and up. That means you can't medicate or therapy your way out of a meaning problem. And I think that is what we're dealing with here at the root. Not just a chemical imbalance or trauma or social media, though we've talked about it before. Those are real factors. I think we are dealing with a generation of people who have lost the answer to the 3 deepest questions a human soul can ever ask, and that is, who am I? Why am I here? And does any of this matter? When you can't answer those questions, darkness begins to move in. Now, I want to say something very carefully here, and I need you to hear the whole thing before you react. Depression is real, and it is not a weakness. It is not a lack of faith. It's not God punishing you. Some of the greatest people in Scripture wrestled with what we would today call depression. Elijah, one of the most powerful prophets who ever lived, sat under a tree after one of his greatest victories and asked God to let him die. He was exhausted, he was afraid, and he was done. David, a man after God's own heart, wrote Psalm 22. Read it sometime. He wrote it from a place of such darkness that Jesus quoted it from the cross when he said, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Jeremiah, called the weeping prophet. Jeremiah cursed the day he was born. Job questioned everything. Jonah sat in his own despair and asked to die. These were not weak men, ladies and gentlemen. These were not faithless men. These were men who were in the dark. But they were honest about it. God is not afraid of your darkness, young man. Young woman, He's not afraid of your darkness. He's been meeting people in darkness since the beginning of time. I've been through real dark times in my life here and there. I felt exactly this way. What am I doing here? What is this for? God, I do this, I do that, I say my prayers, I eat my vitamins, blah, blah, blah. I try to check the boxes, and dude, I am just, what the, you know? We've all had those dark times. So why is this happening at this scale that it is right now? I'm glad you asked. I'm going to give you my honest opinion. My opinion is, you could agree or not, but my opinion is that we have built a world that is extraordinarily connected and extraordinarily lonely at the same time, one causing the other. We have given people access to everything, and it means almost nothing. Young people especially are drowning in information and starving for something real. They have 1,000 voices in their ear from sun up to sundown, and none of them are saying anything that holds true. Nothing lasts longer than the latest trend. They're hearing nothing that anchors them, nothing that lasts beyond the next news cycle or algorithm update. They've been handed a highlight reel of 8 billion with a B lives and told to measure yourself against all of it. And they feel behind now before they've ever even started. Could that explain the 12-year-old depressed people? I mean, they were promised that if they just had enough money, enough followers, enough experiences, enough validation from people that do not matter, that they would feel full, and they got some of those things, and they are still empty. Because you cannot fill a God-shaped hole with anything that isn't God. Augustine said it in the 4th century. He said, our hearts are restless until they rest in thee. That wasn't poetry. That was a diagnosis. And it's just as accurate today as it was 1,600 years ago. The delivery system of emptiness has changed. We've got internet and all that now. But the emptiness has not changed at all. Now, I always try to give an answer before I get out of here. I don't just set up a problem and say, hey, there it is, hang out with it. So here's the answer. And I want to be honest with you. This might frustrate a lot of you at first because it's not a program, it's not a technique, it's not 5 steps and you're healed. It's Matthew 11:28 where Jesus said, come to me. all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Not come to me and I'll explain your diagnosis, not come to me and I'll give you a wellness plan or a punch-out list. Come to me now as you are, weary and burdened and done, and I will give you rest. Not relief. He doesn't say relief. He says rest. There's a big difference. You see, relief is temporary. You take a Advil for a sore throat or a headache, and that's temporary relief. Rest is different. Rest is deep. Jesus is the only one who speaks to the thing underneath the thing, you understand? He speaks to the thing underneath the depression, the ache, the emptiness, the where do I belongs, and the does any of this matter? He speaks to that. That's the root. He answers the identity question. He answers the identity question of who you are by telling you that you are made in the image of God, known before you were born, loved with an everlasting, I said everlasting love. He answers the question of your purpose by telling you that you were placed here intentionally with gifts and a calling that nobody else on this great spinning ball can feel. Or is it flat? Who knows? He answers your meaning question by telling you that your life is not an accident, that your pain is not wasted, and that your story is not finished. You see, Jesus, Yeshua, is not a coping mechanism, ladies and gentlemen. Yeshua is the foundation on which you can stand. Now, to the person that I'm talking to that's sitting in the dark right now, that's asking these questions, I want you to know, first of all, that I feel you and I understand. And I am so sorry that you are where you are right now, but I need you to know that there is a way out. Yeshua. He's the way out. I can tell you from experience because he's toted me out of many fires. If you're in the dark right now, if you woke up this morning and had to talk to yourself to get up out of bed, if you're going through the motions and nobody knows how heavy you actually feel, I see you, and more importantly, God sees you. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. You are not too much to handle. And you're not too little to take care of. The God who met Elijah under that tree, he didn't lecture him. He didn't rebuke him. He sent an angel and said, "Get up and eat." After he let him sleep for a while. The angel said, "Get up and eat. The journey is too great for you." Do you feel that tonight? Do you feel like the journey is too much for you? God will feed you. God will give you rest. Yeshua will meet you exactly where you are, because that is still who he is. He never changes. Hallelujah. He never changes. In a world of everything that changes daily, he is the same. The journey may be too great for you right now. And that's okay, because you weren't designed to carry it. Not by yourself, you weren't. And look, if you feel that you need professional help alongside of your faith, please get it. There's nothing wrong with that. I urge you to get a godly counselor or a godly therapist. Go to your pastor. If you don't have a pastor, go to one anyway, because they don't care. Their door is open to you. Email me here. I'll give you my phone number. I'll talk to you till the sun comes up. Just be careful where you go, because some people are in a darker place than you, and how can they help you if they are worse off than you are? But please get it. God works through doctors and counselors. Getting help is not a failure of faith, it's wisdom that He gave you. But don't stop there. Don't let anyone hand you a prescription and send you home without the bread of life. Because the hole that depression lives in, that's Yeshua sized. And only He's going to fit. 51 million people, ladies and gentlemen. 51 million Americans depressed right now. The world is offering them therapy and wellness plans and routines. But the church has something the world doesn't have. We have an answer to the question underneath all the other questions. We have a God who came down into this darkness personally, who sat with the broken, who touched the untouchable, who wept at a graveside, who knows what it is to cry out, who knows what it is to feel like the silence is the answer. And we have the God who walked out of a tomb on the third day and said, death will never get the last word. Darkness doesn't get the last word. I do. If you're carrying something today, you don't have to carry it alone. His name is Yeshua. And He is still in the business of meeting people in complete darkness. The weight that you're carrying was never meant to be yours alone. Give it to the one who can actually hold it. God bless you. We'll see you next time on In the Line of Faith.